Presented by Toyota, and the battle of I-80 wasn't much of a battle. The Warriors, for the second straight night, score 137. They lead wire to wire against the Sacramento Kings, win their second straight on the 7-game homestand. And Steph Curry messed around and almost got a triple-double. He was special again tonight, following up that performance last night against the Blazers, where he scored 62 points. Bonte Hill, Chris Mullin, Darrell Wright, and they got off to a hot start in the first quarter, scored 37, and they never looked back, Mully.
Total domination. Offensively, a beautiful game to watch. Everyone got a piece of the pie. And then defensively, what Steve Kerr's been talking about, they're totally connected on defense as well. So this, like you said, Bonte, wire-to-wire domination and a great carryover momentum game from the second game against Portland Trailblazers, Darrell.
Yeah, just like
whatever they did, whether it was the zone or man-to-man, the Warriors just moved the ball beautifully.
Yes. Again,
I think you're seeing the impact of Draymond Green on both sides of the ball, but offensively, putting all these guys in the proper positions, you just see, and the assist totals are a big indicator with the Warriors offense. Sure. 41 assists, the most in the league this season. Beautiful offensive basketball.
Beautiful game.
No, it was beautiful, man. It's like you said, the Kings weren't trying. I don't know if they were practicing social distancing or not. I'm serious. They didn't defend. They didn't do anything right today. Poor Luke Walton, man, is up there stressing. Let's talk about Steph Curry, though, because he's been the man of the hour, Western Conference Player of the Week for the 15th time.
The floor game was beautiful. And what was really impressive on the offensive end, you saw the split action. You saw him attack off the dribble. And he didn't have to hunt shots because the offense is starting to flow. You're starting to see him give the ball up. Guys know when to screen for him. And when you have Draymond Green playing that point forward spot, he's always looking to get Steph extra looks.
No doubt he was smooth tonight with the three-pointers, with the passing. And then you mentioned Draymond Green. Just a solid all-around game since he's been back. The second straight game where he's got his win back.
Unique skill is to be able to play point forward and impact the game without scoring. Now, tonight he had 5 assists. He was beautiful on the defensive end. Again, the give and go with Steph Curry, just the chemistry that they have from playing together. Give it in the post, give right back, getting his teammates easy baskets, his communication on the defensive end. And I think he embodies what Kelly Oubre did the first 5-6 games.
No doubt.
Impact the game. If you're not shooting the ball, it doesn't matter. Do something else to help us win. And that's what Draymond Green has always done for this Warrior team.
Good to have him back in the lineup here as the Warriors get ready for the Clippers. That'll be a fun one. They play the Clippers on Wednesday and Friday. But let's hear from the head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr, on tonight's wire-to-wire win over the Sacramento Kings.
Draymond Green is playing at that intensity level, especially that stretch in the second quarter where I think he had 4 or 5 assists. How impactful is that on the offense, both on the court, the production, and then just the energy that players feed off?
Yeah. Well, he's the best defensive player in the world. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. He impacts the game so dramatically. And then on offense, he gets us organized. You know, he's kind of our point forward in a lot of ways, and he's the leader of our team. So, you know, the first few games, obviously, we desperately missed him. And it just feels to me like, you know, now that both Draymond and James Wiseman have had a couple weeks work here, this feels like the beginning of the regular season to me. You know, we weren't ready the first couple weeks, and it showed, but we knew that coming in based on just our situation in camp. So really happy with the way the guys handled this last week. We've gotten better. We're starting to feel what kind of team we can become, and they had a good night tonight. So it's they get tomorrow off. They've earned it.
Steve, CJ Peterson, San Francisco Examiner. Tonight you guys had 41 assists, season high so far. What did you think of the ball movement out there, and just how you guys were able to kind of facilitate tonight?
Yeah, it was really good. You know, just driving, kicking, and you know, it just seemed like everybody was in sync and understood that you just move the ball on. You put it on the floor, get it in the paint, and move it on to the next guy, and the game becomes much easier. So that was nice to see.
Steve, the wrap that we see on Steph's back and the wrap around his right quad, are those just maintenance things? I mean, I have to ask, but
yeah, he's fine. It's just maintenance stuff.
Okay.
How good was it to see Oubre hit 4 threes?
Yeah, it was just a matter of time. I mean, he's a good 3-point shooter. I think he was 35% last year in Phoenix, and he shot it well in the preseason. And just one of those things. I think I said this to you guys last week. This kind of start, Klay Thompson has had a similar start at least 2 times, maybe even 3 times since I've been here. Sometimes at the beginning of the season, you just don't have your legs under you. You have a couple bad games, it can snowball, and then all of a sudden you make one and you realize there's 67 games left or whatever it is, and you just relax. And I think that's where Kelly is now.
Steve, Carmen Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle. Is it fair to say that it's not really a coincidence that Steph starts to go off when Draymond gets his win back and is being the Draymond of old? What is so special about the dynamic between those two?
Well, they know each other so well, so their pick and roll game is beautiful to watch, and hit and handbacks, and Draymond understands how to get Steph open. And then I think our defense gets a lot better when Draymond is on the floor, so Steph gets more transition opportunities as well.
Hey, Coach, Kylan with Cron 4. Steph almost with a triple-double tonight. What do you think of his effort, especially coming off of a 62-point game to then go out with that kind of energy?
Yeah, Steph looked great. I mean, the first quarter was the key to the game, 37-20, and our defense was really key. And again, if we can get stops and get into transition, Steph is lethal in those cases. So he got free a little bit in that first quarter and set a really good tone, as did our whole team with the defense. And that's going to be the key, going forward. We these last 2 games have been really good defensive efforts. And that's what this team has to be built on in order to compete at the highest level. So we're trending in the right direction, but it's about to get a lot tougher competition-wise.
You talked about not really having a rotation early in the season. I know we're not 20 games into it yet, but do you feel like you're forming one? I mean, obviously Bazemore is getting more minutes. Lee is a nightly guy now. Just where are you at rotation-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think Baze has played so well. He's really solidified himself. And then, ironically, Marquise's injury really clarified Eric's role. And I think that was one of the big question marks in camp was, when Draymond was back, where were we going to play Eric? And he's really seized that role, that backup center along with Loon. Kind of playing those 3 guys, playing James, Loon, and Eric, and it's a really good look. Eric is so good offensively and so good at attacking, and doing so as a 5-man really suits him well. So I would say, these last few games, the rotation has settled in pretty well, but we'll see how it goes the next couple of weeks.
You mentioned the increased competition. You guys played some really good teams to start the season, clearly weren't ready for that. How much more ready do you feel for really, it's like a 7-game gauntlet ahead? Well,
yeah. I mean, like I said, I feel like conditioning-wise and practice-wise, this is what the beginning of the regular season normally feels like. And it makes sense, right? Because it's about a 4-week period under normal circumstances from your first practice to your first game. And it's probably been about 4 weeks since we started camp. So we weren't ready. We needed a couple of extra weeks, particularly with James and Draymond. And now we've got our legs underneath us. And I think we're much better prepared to play the best teams in the league. So we'll see if that's true.
We'll see it Wednesday night when the Warriors take on the Clippers, and these 3 guys right here, Bully and Darrell, are a big key to the success. We know about Steph Curry and Draymond Green, but Oubre Jr. starting to find it. Andrew Wiggins, he's been playing well ever since the Milwaukee game. And, of course, let's start with James Wiseman, a 19-year-old. Sky's the limit for this kid, 50% from the floor tonight. And he just gets better and better and better. I know a lot of fans were saying, well, where's Wiseman at? Playing more than fourth quarter. He's elevated himself. He doesn't need to be playing at garbage time anymore because he's that special, Darrell.
Yeah, he's that had an effect on Oubre and Wiggins.
No doubt.
As those guys got back healthy, this team, you see natural progression. They're improving each and every day. And tonight was just a beatdown. I mean, an offensive show. They shot 52% from the field.
It's crazy.
53 from three. And 85 from the free throw line.
23
Start to finish beatdown.
Yeah,
41 assists. 41 assists.
41 assists. Sacramento didn't even show up, but the Warriors took it to them. They just said, look, we're going to beat you guys. You're inferior. You're inferior competition. We're going to take it to you and follow it up against Portland. And Kelly Oubre Jr., Bully, is starting to follow up some solid performances. Thought he played well Sunday night against the Blazers. Tonight, 4-6 from the three-point line. But it's his defensive activity that's really spurring his offense.
And he didn't let his shooting struggles affect his defensive intensity and his impact on winning. And there's not a better coach in the league than Steve Kerr. He always has tremendous perspective and humility. He knew what he was going through. They took some beat downs, right? He didn't overreact. He knew he was getting guys back. He knew it was early in the season. And Steve's always had that perspective, right? Even when they were blowing teams out, he said, this is not the real NBA, right? Yeah. So he knows how to work through seasons. And I thought, his temperament helped Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins through that tough start.
Yeah, and he's playing with these guys that struggled before, and I'm pretty sure Steph and all those guys are telling him just continue to shoot, continue to play your game. Right. You heard what Draymond said about him post-game, just doing the little things, the defensive end, and getting steals, creating offense for yourself, getting dunks. So I think that really, really helped him tonight, knocking down 4 out of 6 threes, and he looked like a lot of confidence on them shots.
And not to forget about Andrew Wiggins. He's now in a nice little rhythm here offensively, especially coming off the bench with that second unit at the start of the second quarter. Third game of a 7-game homestand. Things get interesting against the Clippers Wednesday night and Friday. But you see here tonight, 137 and 106. Back-to-back games, they score 137, and it was the assist numbers. 41 assists on 51 made field goals. Again, folks, an NBA season high, 41 assists on 51 made field goals. Early offense, transition. Mully, they were rolling today against the Sacramento Kings.
And it was the vets. Draymond had 5 assists. Steph had 8 assists. But look at this beautiful rebound. One dribble, look ahead. Not only a beautiful pass, he knows who he's got on his team. Big 7'1", 7'5" wingspan, James Wiseman. Nice catch and finish. Beautiful pass by Draymond.
Oh, yeah, they were sharing the wealth tonight, man. Here's Draymond again. Very underrated move, getting the ball to the middle of the court so you can see the whole floor. Kelly Oubre running hard, knowing he will be rewarded if he runs.
Beautiful post defense. Steal it, push it up, spoon feed Kelly Oubre. Here again. Knowledge, point forward, Draymond Green, directing traffic. Beautiful screen by James Wiseman. Wide open play here. Beautiful, unselfish play by Steph Curry. That's going to be a staple moving forward.
For sure. You see a lot of that right there. Right here, wheeling and dealing, finding Pascal in the corner. Hands ready, shot it with confidence. This was a great shot and got him going, I think, early.
And that's what Steve Kerr's talking about. Attack the paint to finish. And Draymond's excited.
What is he doing there? Is he waving him home? What is he doing, Draymond? What is that?
Point forward. Go screen number 30.
Screen.
I want another assist. Go get him open.
Please.
Warriors rolling with the assist numbers is crazy because last week against the Bulls, the Pistons, and even against Milwaukee and Brooklyn, we're talking about the assist numbers, 15 assists, 14 assists. And we're saying that's not Warriors basketball. Right. Having Draymond Green back in the lineup, I didn't think he'd make this big of an impact. We know he's a Hall of Famer and a former DPOY, but the assist numbers are now back to the 30s where the Warriors like it, Darrell.
Yeah, because they're sharing the ball, they're spacing the floor out, and they're understanding the IQ of the game. So pass and cut hard. Steph passes the ball or pick up his dribble, the play isn't over. That means pass the ball one more time, set it down screen just like Mully just said, and he's going to knock down open shots. And everybody else is taking shots with confidence as well. So that's helping the assist numbers also.
In no other sport than basketball, one player makes a huge difference. And with Draymond Green coming back, offensively and defensively, he makes a huge difference. He puts all the other players in their proper positions, right? So now Wiseman can play in the dunker, Steph can run off screens, and Draymond can handle the basketball. Defensively, we've seen him take charges, get steals. And the other thing, too, is he's a great advancer of the basketball. So when he rebounds that ball, he's pushing up quickly. He's putting that defense on their heels, and that's where a lot of great opportunities are. So there's no coincidence that with him coming back, yeah, the defense has improved.
Yep.
The offense has improved because of just the positive energy that he brings.
Right.
And he's waving them home.
Yeah,
Come on, Curry,
yeah, yeah.
come on.
Quarterback.
Let's talk about his quarterbacking out there. Shout out to E40. Storylines here. We talked about the Sacramento Kings and their family feud. Let's look at the point total for a second. They were over under 118.5. They did come close to that. We'll talk about that in a second here. Marvin Bagley III and De'Aaron Fox. We talk about the family feud with the fathers tweeting out. Of course, Bagley's dad tweeted, "Trade my son, trade him." De'Aaron Fox's dad, Aaron Fox, said, "Well, trade him. We don't care." Well, you look at the stats here. Marvin Bagley III was awful tonight, minus 27, of course. He had a really slow first half. De'Aaron Fox really didn't get to a flow. The jumper was off. The Warriors didn't allow him to get into the paint. The family feud, we'll see what happens in Sacramento, man, but it looks ugly. And if you do want to trade Marvin Bagley III, who are you going to get for him for the number 2 overall pick? Think about this, Darrell. Number 2 overall picks, Wiseman and Marvin Bagley III. Who would you rather have? You'd probably rather have Wiseman because of the maturity.
Yeah, I like the upside as well. Wiseman coming in, high IQ player already. He's been coached by a great player, former player, so and he looks great. You know, he's coming in, he's making a big impact early, so I'm happy to see him every single night.
As well as the Warriors played tonight, that's how bad the Kings played.
Wow.
And I will say, look, De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley, they're both young, very talented players. Mm-hmm. They have enough on their plate to navigate through a team like the Warriors. And the NBA is a hard business to be in.
Right.
Yes.
You have enough on your plate just to navigate through your young career. You don't need the outside news.
It was all good just a week ago with the Kings beating the Nuggets for their second time in the season. Now they've lost 3 straight to the Rockets, of course, blown out tonight. Here's my over-unders here. Over-under 118.5. And if you bet the under, well, you cash that ticket. The Kings scored 106, and for a while there, Willie, they were hovering around 80 points. They didn't show.
No, just let's defend.
Yes.
And I think the same thing goes for offense. Let's not overemphasize the three-point shot. Mm-hmm. Let's get quality shots, take them in rhythm, and your game will come. So I think what Draymond's done on the offensive end and the defensive end, his impact has been incredible.
Well, let's hear from Draymond right now. He's at the podium talking to the media. Here's Draymond Green after the Warriors win their second straight.
What can you say about the defensive energy the last 2 nights? And Steve says he wants that to be the identity for this group, and you're a big part of kind of getting that going on that end.
That has to be the identity of this group. You know, when we're defending like that, we can get easy buckets on the other end. You know, as we continue to figure each other out offensively, figure out where shots are coming from. The one thing we can be consistent on is our energy and effort on the defensive end. And those, these last 2 games was a good step in the right direction for us. Now we got to make sure we continue to build on that.
You were very demonstrative tonight, particularly at one point. You were kind of, I think trying to wave Wiggins through. How important is that for you on this team right now? Basically directing guys out there.
It's very important because the reality is guys don't know where to go. There's times where I'm out there on the floor and I don't know where to go because we're all figuring each other out. You're figuring out where a guy likes to be on the floor, figuring out the spacing. So, when there are certain situations, it's important that I'm pointing guys in the right direction. The majority of the time that leads to Steph flying out off a pin down or something. And when that happens, obviously he draws so much attention that he create better looks for everyone else. So it's important that we continue to get that movement. And, it's even as important, for me to make sure I'm directing that movement and getting guys, helping guys get that understanding.
So, go ahead.
Does it help you, Draymond, that you're playing in arenas that are pretty quiet and know that the guys can't have a choice but to hear what you're saying?
I don't know, man. I'm a pretty loud guy. Whether it's an arena full of people or one without, my voice can get up there quite a bit.
Okay.
So, San Francisco Examiner, tonight you guys had 41 assists. You guys were really distributing the ball tonight. What is that like for you to, kind of see that rhythm kind of come back and see those extra passes really getting in there?
Oh, well, that's who we want to be. We definitely have to use each other's strengths. And, as I said before, as we get more comfortable with each other, we'll be able to see more of this now. Is it going to lead to 41 assists every night and 23 or 24 threes? No. But if that's our MO, moving the ball, making the extra pass, using each other, it'll do more good than bad for us. And so we just have to make sure we continue to use that, continue to build on that, and more importantly, continue to trust the next guy. Everybody can make a play. If you don't have it, move it on. Trust the next guy. If you got a good shot and one more swing creates a great one, swing it on.
What's your impression of Kelly's defensive energy?
It's been fantastic. Obviously, and watching Kelly over the years, that's who he is. But playing with him and the energy that he's bringing on the ball, last couple of nights has really screwed up guys off the other team's offense. And when you have a guy like that, essentially the head of the snake, guarding a point guard and taking the head of the snake out the game, that's extremely important. He made it tough on De'Aaron tonight, as he did on Dame last night. And, not every night you can play with that same intensity and Dame can go berserk. De'Aaron can go berserk. But nonetheless, as long as he's bringing that effort, it's the NBA. Guys are going to have good nights. But if you're bringing that energy and effort, it's great to have that at the point of attack. And now everybody else can kind of fill in and do their job behind them.
Draymond, Connor Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle. Steph's a guy who needs the offense to really be in a flow, to be at his best. How rewarding is it for you when you can play a role in making sure that you guys are at the right rhythm and in that flow?
Steph is the flow. He creates the flow. And so, when he's playing the way he's playing the last two nights, it allows everyone else to get into a flow. And so I disagree a little bit with he needs the offense to be flowing for him. He creates the flow for us, and the rest of us are able to fill in and do our jobs.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That smoothie Draymond had looked pretty damn good. I could use one of those right now. Fellas, let's go around the league here. Boogie Cousins looks like he needs a smoothie. What's going on with Boogie? Looks like he's back at it again. 2X Kings. Well, 2X Warriors. We're gonna get 2X Kings. DeMarcus Cousins, man, we missed that. We got to check that out. And then, of course, Devin Booker, I don't know if you guys saw this on last night. The Clippers' Suns. The Clippers were up third.
Legitimate championship contender, and the Phoenix Suns are trying to get in the playoffs. Yeah. And they're a legitimate playoff contender as well, but they're trying to climb the ladder. They're going to do whatever it takes.
I mean, Paul George, I haven't seen that reaction out of him on the floor. He was ready to go.
And an empty gym where you hear everything people are saying, right? So nothing's getting by you. You say something, they're going to hear it.
Everybody's going to hear it here. Looking ahead to the Clippers, because we're going to see them Wednesday night and Friday at Chase Center. And Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, they have a new coach now with Ty Lue, letting go of Doc Rivers. What do you expect, Darrell, in this series between the Clippers?
Well, I just hope they have that same carryover. They put two great games together these last two games. So same energy, same ball movement. And they got to get stops because they got a lot of guys on that offensive end for the Clippers that could score at a high level. So they just got to be locked in on the defensive end, make the shots hard for Kawhi and PG, and also Lou Will coming off the bench. So they just got to play a complete game.
Yeah, one of the most talented teams in the NBA, and they're a championship contender. They replaced a great coach in Doc Rivers.
Yes.
But Tyronn Lue knows exactly what's been going on there. So he has the knowledge of what needs to change. And I think there's been an emphasis on a little bit more ball movement on the offensive end. And Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, two of the best perimeter defenders in the league. So they've got everything it takes. They're just looking for their chemistry.
Going to be a fun test for the Golden State Warriors. A good, nice little barometer here. Let's hear from Steph Curry, though. This guy has scored 92 points in his last 7 quarters of action. Here's what Steph Curry had to say about his follow-up performance after last night's 62-point game.
How does 41 assists sound to you?
Sounds good. I mean, Draymond obviously has helped a lot in terms of getting us organized and, especially when I get off the ball and starting again. I said it yesterday, see the pictures a little bit clearer and understand spacing. And obviously guys got to make shots and, everybody pitched in. So it was a really good effort across the board. Guys staying ready off the bench. And, defensively, we gave ourselves energy and life from the beginning. And on a back-to-back, you need that presence to get everything flowing, and then it translated to good offense.
Were you determined from the start to get your guys involved? I mean, last night you came out looking for the shot. Tonight you came out, you were finding guys, you seemed more patient tonight.
Again, it's going to look different every night depending on how the defense guards me, and it's all about just making the right decision. You can always go rogue and try to force up shots, but, yesterday there were clear lanes to attack, and I did. Tonight there weren't, really clear lanes, but I could draw a crowd, get it moving, and I could move it out the ball. So it's going to look all type of different ways. I just got to be decisive and clear, and again, having Draymond at the top to kind of be our quarterback and get people moving in the right direction, swing the ball, it starts to look like it used to in the sense of, the patterns that we have, and guys are, making shots, and that's always helpful.
Hi, Steph. Janie McCauley from AP. Steph, when you watch James at the rim, I mean, with the alley-oop dunk or just, converting finishing on a lay-in, I mean, he seems so poised and as if the game is coming to him. Does he continue to impress you with how he's making adjustments and learning?
For sure. I think, he showed flashes the very first, game, being able to kind of catch in space and get to the rim. And when he's aggressive, rolling to the basket, he's going to demand attention. And that opens up a lot of things. Our timing's getting better by the game. And then the next step for him will be when people really load and send bodies at him, knowing where guys are on the weak side and creating open shots for other people. So, like where he's at, he's obviously very aggressive when he gets the ball, trying to score. And you like that confidence and physicality from a guy that's just getting started.
You have several of the league's top teams in the next 7 games or so. How much more ready do you feel like this team is for that type of competition than you were for the first 2 games of the season?
I mean, we said it then, and it's going to take, it's a process, and every game, every week, we're going to get better. And we're kind of proving that, but we haven't done anything yet, so we understand that. And like you said, there's some tests coming. Portland was a good bounce-back game to make adjustments. Tonight was nice to kind of get rid of that trap game kind of mindset and follow up a good win with another good win. And then you got, the Clippers coming in, so we understand the challenges that they present. Take it one game at a time, stay in the moment. We are getting better. We are more prepared. We're more confident. And, you got to keep proving it.
Steph, to follow up on that, you've talked about it in the last few years, getting every team's best shot because of what you guys have accomplished. I know it's early this year and things are a little different, but do you still feel like every time you and this team rolls into a town or somebody comes through here that you're getting every team's best shot because of what you've done in years past?
100%, and that's how it's supposed to be. There are teams that were in the bubble in the playoffs last year in both conferences that we're going to be doing that to them. So, yeah, it's always the game within the game, and that competition is exciting, knowing that there's a little bit more meaning based on what we did in the last 5 years, and other teams' experience playing against us. So it's part of the journey. We love it.
All right, you just heard from Steph Curry there talking about getting team's best shot, and also talked about James Wiseman and what's next for him. And Mully, he talked about Wiseman getting the ball, seeing the double teams, knowing where guys are going to be at. That's the next phase for him in his game.
Well, I think what Steph sees is each and every day in practice and in the game, he sees something new.
Yeah.
And there's nothing the kid can't do. Yep. It's just a matter of doing it as the team progresses, right? And Steph talked about they're getting better each and every day, they're progressing, and also they're being more organized. Yeah. I think with the addition of Draymond back in the lineup, now you have Pascal, you have your bench more solidified, yep, and you have your starting lineup solidified. And tonight, you got contributions across the board. And I got to say, Kelly Oubre playing through his struggles tonight, 4 for 6 from 3, yep, but he's been consistently playing hard.
Yep.
And Andrew Wiggins, another good performance.
Yeah, and I think Wiseman to understand that he is now in the scouting report each and every game. So you have to be prepared for defenses throwing all kind of different junk at you. So more reps. He understand how to pass out of out of the double team and who's going to be open on the rotations.
And I think as they got organized, what you're seeing, he's getting easy baskets.
Right.
He's getting a few more lob dunks, in transition layups, which helps the rest of his game come along. So it's just been a great progression for the whole team.
No, great hands by Wiseman. Oubre Jr.'s coming into his own. We'll talk more about Steph Curry, though. Let's break that down, his on-court performance, because he is on a heater right now. 92 points in his last 7 quarters. Almost had a triple-double tonight. We'll talk about Steph Curry here on Warriors Postgame Live, presented by Toyota.